You know how you can tell when I've been working on the car? When it gets messy in here. Like, it's all sorts of stuff where it shouldn't be. Like, everything's in disarray. I mean, there's like tools everywhere and yeah, you get the idea. You ever get in a mode where you just start working and you're like hitting like a stride, like you're getting your mojo, you're getting you're getting the swing of it, you know what I mean? You're making progress, you don't want to stop. That's basically what happened to me. So the shop is in complete disarray, as you can see. And I have been working on the fuel cell system, and let me show you what I have on the hustle board and let me show you what I've accomplished. So this is what I have here. I've got fab support braces, which are, I'll show you those in a minute. Install the fuel cell system and then mock up and measure for fuel system. So the support braces, let me show you those. So basically we've been over here on the horses or whatever they call these things. And I've been cutting up the strut brace stuff. Now this stuff, the longer it is, the more flimsy it is. But this is 35 and 7/8, almost 36 inches, and I can't even bend it standing on it. I'm like 300 pounds or whatever. So the shorter, the stronger. And it's like channeled, it's plated, and you could just spray paint it as is or whatever, or you can leave it just as is and it will never rust. But I'm gonna tell you right now, this stuff's heavy duty, man. Like, I've seen transmission mounts made out of this, and this piece that you're looking at right here is probably gonna be that. But anyway, I took two pieces of that, 42 inches long, and I came over here and I installed the fuel cell. And you can see I've got some risers there to kind of level it out or whatever. I still have a little bit of a tilt back, which is ideal with a fuel system, and that's what you want. Simply because the sump, it has a sump that goes down like this at the bottom of the tank. I'll show you. See it? It has that sump. And that's cool and all, but I wanted to give it a little extra just so I don't have any like vapor lock or air in my system or whatever. I'm probably not using the right terminology, but you can see I've got the braces installed into the frame on each side. And then I've got the, you know, hardware, all grade 5 and all that good stuff, 1/2-inch bolts and washers and rubber insulators, because you know you have metal washers and an aluminum fuel cell tab, so you don't want, like, you know what I'm saying, like you don't want dissimilar metals like rubbing against each other, like right there, you know what I'm saying? So I got like rubber washers, insulators in between it. But anyway, that's where the fuel cell is. So like you have the door or the hatch or whatever, you pop your hatch, boom, fuel cell's right here. It's a little off center, but that's okay, because I wanted to leave a little extra room over here on this rail. I want to mount the first fuel filter right here, 100 micron. Then on the side, on the frame rail inside of there, like underneath this, I want to mount the fuel pump, since it'll be on the frame, it's grounded to the frame, that's awesome. And then, or whatever. And then after that, a dash 10, or not dash 10, 10 micron filter, right? Then all the way up to the front of the car or whatever, along the subframe connector. But this is pretty neat, man. Like, here you are, you open your little lid. I know this is like not the most fanciest setup in the world, but hey man, there you go. It's got a little sending unit or level sender or whatever. I like to just open and look. But you got 2 dash 10s at the bottom. You got fittings up here for whatever, return or whatnot. I like to return to the bottom of the tank. Just that way I don't have like, well, I don't know. It depends on this setup, because I'm used to dealing with like lower horsepower applications. With this application, I'm probably gonna have to return to the top, which I don't like doing because it tends to aerate the fuel because it's just dropping down, but there's foam in there and whatever, so that should prevent that. Learning, that's gonna be like a growing pain, a learning curve or whatever. But I mean, this ain't going nowhere, man. I mean, I'm shaking the mess out of the car. This ain't, it's on jack stands. I'm not gonna test it, but you already know. So now I can officially say that I've made a mess of the shop And I could say, let's see, what's the color for today? Let's do shop towel blue, because that's what it is. It's 1,000 pieces. These never tear. They never tear one by one. Anyway, fab support braces, check. Install fuel cell, check. That's pretty awesome. And I hate to be like, oh, do all this work off camera or whatever, but sometimes like you're working, you're hitting like that pace and you don't want to stop because you're making so much progress. It feels good. And yeah, maybe lesson learned, if I'm gonna be like a video maker or whatever, I probably should have the camera on at all times. But like I said, it's not what it's about. I just want to have fun with my car. I want to build my car, you know what I'm saying? So I will do better to make a conscious effort to put stuff on camera, but I just wanted to work, man. You know, I wanted to get some stuff done. So that's complete, and that's where the fuel cell is gonna live. I have some string here that I've already kind of like mocked up or whatever. And I'm gonna lay it out on the floor and show you. Okay, so for all intents and purposes, this is the fuel system minus the return line. The reason why I don't have that here on the diagram, or if you will, is because I'm changing the setup. So the end of the line here, that's gonna be the fuel cell where the little white tab is, right? Pre and post. So pre-filter, post-filter, 10 micron. 100 micron before the fuel pump, 10 micron after, right? And then I'm gonna pump fuel wide open to what originally was gonna be the fuel regulator right there, and then do -8 from the fuel regulator back to the tank. Well, I'm not gonna do that, because the smart thing to do would be to go from the post filter, right? And go from the filter all the way, never mind the regulator, it's not gonna be there, to a Y fitting and run, -8, but I'm not gonna do -8, I'll do -10. -12 from the tank to those 3 pieces. After the post filter, run -12 all the way up, or -10, sorry, from the, goodness gracious, I can't even get my English right. -10 PTFE from the post filter all the way up to a Y fitting to go into the fuel rails. So the Y fitting will be back here, and then it'll go into the back of each fuel rail. It'll come out of the fuel rails right here, right? And then they'll both go in and into a fuel regulator right here in the center. And then the -8 or -10 or whatever will go out the back of the fuel regulator and run all the way back to the fuel cell. And the reason why I want to do it this way is because on high horsepower applications, when you have the regulator before the rails, you know, the best way to explain it is that as each injector opens, you're going to have a small drop in pressure. And when you're pushing these engines, you know, you end up like running out of fuel, basically. And you never hardly run out of air. Air is never a problem. We can shove all the air we want into here, okay? But if you don't have the fuel to keep up with that amount of air, then you're gonna be lean. And that's, lean in the belly is good, but lean in the mean machine ain't it. You don't wanna be lean there. So you wanna be lean in the driver's seat, because I mean, what they say, 100 pounds is 1/10 of a second? Something like that. So, which I'm working on. I'm in the low 280s, so I'm happy with that. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the fuel cell, so fuel system. So instead of like regulating the pressure before whatever, and then having drop, you know, having this fuel system drop as the injectors open, I would rather have it after the fuel rails and know that I'm getting all the fuel I want to those injectors, and then I won't starve them. Now, how is that going to work with flex fuel injectors as opposed to the injectors I have now? The injectors I have now are big boys. They're, well, I'm not going to say big boys, but they're Holley low impedance, 120 pound per hour. So it's, I mean, they're substantial. I can't run those with this ECU So, or ECM, or depending on what your favorite manufacturer is, what they call it. But I can't run those. So with the stock 58 PSI, what are they? They're the flex fuel injectors from Gen 4 LS. With those, I need to be smart about it and maybe put the regulator before, but I'm gonna build it with a regulator after and go from there. And if I have a problem with it, I can pull it up in like HP tuners or whatever and figure it out. But that's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put the regulator in the middle here, which they have like a cool mount that you can mount off of like the 2 bolts on the timing cover right there, and the regulator sits right here, suspended. Looks really trick. Or I could put it like right here, or I could put the regulator here. I'd rather have it in the middle. I don't know if you can see that, but I'd rather have it in the middle. So that's the idea. That's what I've been working on, is just getting this fuel cell mounted. I'm super happy about it. It looks freaking awesome. I mean, I've had this open like for so long. Like, oh, let's close it and let's look from back here. Yeah, dude, that's where that should be. I mean, that feels good having it there. Oh my gosh. I need to get rid of the tint that's on that. I need to, honestly, getting rid of that glass would be smart. That stuff's heavy. Oh, where's the key? Oh yeah. Key's here. You gotta pull this, and then you gotta, yeah, something like that. I think it's, so you have keys for the sunroof or the T-tops, and you have the key for the trunk. It's just so street car, right? One hand, nope, can I? Struggle bus, use my head. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that thing's heavy, man. It's the glass. I mean, don't get me wrong, the hatch is heavy too, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, this is cool, man. I mean, this, like I said, this stuff is super strong. I can get underneath this and push up, like bench press that, and I can move the car up off the jack stand. So that right there ain't going nowhere. Now, I do have a repair thing for this. Like I said, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fill this in and then texture it and make it look like it's a seam sealer, and nobody gonna know nothing, you know what I'm saying? I guess you guys know now, but whatever. It's mounted, there it is, it's done. Oh man, I'm tripping over tool, oh my God. Yeah, there you go. That's all set up, ready to rock, man. I need to order the stuff. So I feel like I've accomplished a lot throughout the week. But yeah, when we finish stuff, we can take it off. So not only did we do those 2 things, I've got mocked up and measured for my fuel system, which I know it's 20 feet of dash, whatever I choose, dash 12 or dash 10. It's technically 15 feet of the feed line, or 20 feet of feed line and 15 feet of return line, but I'd rather just do 20, 20, 20, and 20. Goodness, I need to mount this board back up. So 20 and 20, and let's, you know what? I'm gonna leave this as is for right now. I'll do a 10 feet and an 8. 12 is like future proofing, but that's kind of overkill for right now. And I mean, it's only like $100. I can later on get that. I'd rather use the extra $100 for something else like the starter or something like that. But that's it, that's completely wiped. So the next goal is to go to, you know what I mean? Saturday. I'm going to lights out. Saturday, February 24th. That's what I'm gonna do. So I will be there hanging out. People sell stuff at the track at those events. So I'm just like, man, I can get me a little come up or something. Maybe I find a gently used fuel pump or something, you know? I mean, you never know what you can find at those things. I know that when I walk the pits, I see people selling stuff, and most of the time it's big block Chevy stuff. But that doesn't mean like other vendors, you know, like official, like real deal vendors and companies are gonna be there, which they are. I mean, Nitrous Outlet's gonna be there, Pro Charger's gonna be there, Featherlight Composites is gonna be there, because I need to figure out about my hood. Yeah, I need to do that ASAP. I need to put a fender on and measure the height of this intake and see if it's 4 inches or more. Because I think the Featherlight Composites cowl is only 4 inches. So, but I know they make an extended version, so it covers the part of the cowl that's missing. So that's cool. You never know, you can get a deal. I mean, some of these companies will cut you a deal just for buying something there, and then you don't even pay shipping. And as long as you pay with Do, Re, and Me, that's cool with me. That's what they're saying. I'll be there, lights out. It's at South Georgia Motorsports Park. I'll be walking around, chilling. If you see me, say hi. I know there's gonna be a lot of cool cars there. There's a class that I'm really interested in watching. It's called All Steel, All Glass. It's not really an all glass category because you can run front and rear Lexan or optic armor, which then doesn't really make it all glass. So I was kind of like weirded out about that. But they require you to have side glass windows. And what did I get rid of? My side glass windows. It wouldn't be too hard to figure something out, but like I said, that's later on down the road. I know for a fact I need to do some recon there and see what everybody's running over there. Like, look at these all steel, all glass cars and be like, who's really got side glass and who don't? You know what I mean? Like, how strict are they on like full interior? Like, what's the deal, you know? I mean, we're talking door panels like OEM, or we talking just like sheet metal? Like, probably just sheet metal, but I want to see for myself. It'll be a lot of fun. So if you see me, say hi. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.